Hi friends, welcome back. Today we are going to solve lead code problem 1020, number of enclaves. Before we go through the description and examples of the problem, I just want to mention that my channel is dedicated to helping people who are preparing for coding interviews and Java interviews. On my channel there are more than 200 solved examples which were previously asked coding questions by big tech companies like Amazon, Apple, Facebook, Google, Microsoft, Yahoo, and many other companies, and those constitute different variety of problems such as dynamic programming, graphs, binary search trees, BFS, DFS, matrix related problems, linked list related interview questions, as well as string related interview questions. So if you are preparing for coding interviews or Java interviews, this channel can definitely be able to help you. So please subscribe to this channel. So let's look into the problem statement. You are given M by N binary matrix grid where 0 represents C cell and 1 represents land cell. A move consists of walking from one land cell to another adjacent 4 directionally land cell or walking off the boundary of the grid. Return number of land cells in grid for which we cannot walk off the boundary of the grid in any number of moves. So this is the statement, like problem statement, and they have given us two examples. So let's just take these examples over here, and we will first understand what the problem is, right? And then we will go with like explaining the solution. So let me just choose a color here. So what the problem is saying is, let's say for example, if we take this one, right, then I can, like, we can move in the there are 4 directions as represent here, right? So if we are standing on ij, we can go upward, downward, on the right side and on the left side, right, as it is shown here. So we can go on the, let's say we start like stand on this land cell, right? One is land cell, so we can go upward, then we can visit this cell, again we can go upward, we can visit this cell, and from here we can walk off the grid, right? Walk off the grid, so we can go outside of the grid from here basically. So similarly, if we take this instead, like this node, right, this cell, we can just go here from this cell and then walk off the boundary, like of the grid, right? So we have to figure out how many cells are there, land cells are there, which are inside this grid, right, or matrix, which where we cannot walk off, right? Means we cannot walk off the boundary of the grid. We have to find out. So in this case, I will just revert back the color. So in this case, whatever one cell we can stand, we can always walk off the grid, right? Because they are connected to the boundary, all the cells, right? Somehow, right? This cell, as you can see, connected like this to the boundary. This cell also is connected to the boundary, and these two ones are already on the boundary, so we can always walk off the grid, right? If we go upward, then we will be off the grid or off the matrix. So the answer for this one is 0 because there are no land cells here, right? From which we cannot walk off the grid. If we look at the second example, so this another example, right? So if we let's say if we are standing on this cell, right, we can go and visit this cell, right? If I go downwards, if I go left, again I can visit this cell, right? But now if I go on any of the directions, I cannot walk off the grid, right? Because everywhere is a, these 3 directions are water, so I cannot go to the water, and I cannot go back. I can go back, but it is land, right? So there is no way we can walk off the grid for all these 3 cells, right? Which 3 cells? This is one cell, right? This is second cell, and this is third cell, right? So these internal 3 cells are there where we cannot walk off the grid. Basically, we cannot get out of this grid, right? So we have to return 3 as the answer here. 3 are the cells which we cannot walk off the grid, right? And that is what it is called as enclaves basically. So number of enclaves is 3 here. So as you can see here, the answer is 3, as I explained. And if we go downwards here for the other grid, we can walk off the grid for any of these ones, right? So we will just return 0. So this is what the problem is. So now let me just backtrack these colors. So what we are going to do to solve this problem is we will go and we will check each cell on the boundary, right? So on the boundary means this thing, right? Like I'll just highlight for you so you will know these are all the on the boundary cells basically, right? So these cells are all on the boundary cells. I'm just highlighting, so just which are like last row, last column, or first row and first column, right? First row, first column, last row, last column. These are all boundary cells basically, right? So we will go and through the matrix, and whenever we are on any boundary cell, right? So yeah, just a second. So whenever we are on any boundary cell, we will and we are encountering any one here, right? Then we will start doing DFS. So for example, we encounter one here, right? This is a boundary cell because this is on the first row. So we encounter one which is a land cell. So we will start doing DFS, right? Depth first search. So this is a DFS, and we will start in all four directions, right? That is mentioned here. So upward, downward, upward, downward on the right side, on the left side, right? So whenever we see any land cell, we will go and visit it. So we will visit this land cell, and we will convert all these cells to zero, right? So this one I will convert to zero. Then this one also, whenever we visit, we will convert that to zero. Again, now if I go downward, I have a land cell, so I will visit this land cell and I will convert it into zero. And here also, if I go downward, I also have a land cell here, so I will visit it and I will convert that cell into zero, right? So this is the way the DFS works, right? So we will go in all four directions of all connected land cells and we will convert them into zero. After that is done, we will again come back and again we will loop, like again we will traverse through the matrix, right? All the rows and all the columns, and we will try to find out if there are any ones left, right? So here, if you see now, there are no ones left, right? So we will just return zero in this case basically, because there are no ones left, because all our ones are converted to zero through the DFS. So there is no one, so which means that there are zero number of enclaves here. Similarly, if we take this another example, when we are doing the when we are traversing the matrix first time, we will encounter one here in the first column, right? Which is a boundary, basically boundary, right? So we will start doing DFS, right? All four directions. So we will go here, we will go here, and again here. This one is outside, so we will not consider that. Whenever we are visiting the four directions, we will check if there is any land cell. So now this is zero, this is zero, this is zero, which are all water cells, right? Zero is water cell, so we cannot continue doing DFS on the water cells, right? So we will just move on. There are no other ones which are on the boundary in this matrix, right? So once we are done, we will do again, we will reiterate, retraverse this matrix basically, right? Again we will traverse the matrix and we will try to find out if there are any ones left, right? So during our second traversal of the matrix, we will see that this one, and this one, so three ones we will find, right? So we have to return 3 as the answer basically, which is 3 is number of enclaves, right? From which we cannot uh, walk off the grid, right? Because there are other water cells in between, so we cannot walk off the grid. So this is the problem we are going to solve using DFS. So let me just show you the code for the I already explained you in details the example. So first I just created rows and columns here, and rows is grid dot length and columns is grid 0 dot length, right? So we will get the columns and number of rows of the matrix. We created a variable called as count and initialized it to 0, right? This is our first traversal of the grid. So we will traverse all the cells in the grid, and whenever we find any boundary cell here, right? And the boundary cell is having one, for example here, right? This is a boundary cell 1, this is boundary cell 1. So whenever we see any one, we will start doing DFS. So this is the important part. Boundary cell is the one. How we will determine if it is a boundary cell? Boundary cell means I is equal to 0 or j is equal to 0, or I is equal to rows minus 1 or j is equal to columns minus 1, right? That's how we understand that this is a boundary cell. And we will check the value of the boundary cell, right? If it is 1, we will start doing DFS. We will pass ijth cell coordinates and the grid here. So as here DFS, first thing we wanted to check if we are on a valid cell, right? if I is less than 0 or j is less than 0, or I is greater than equal to rows, or j is greater than equal to columns, which means that we are going outside of the boundary. So this is not a valid case, right? Or if we are visiting a cell which is 0, right, this is also not a valid case. So in any of these cases we have to just return, we cannot proceed, right, because those are not valid cases for DFS. Otherwise we will visit the ijth cell and we will make it 0, and then we will try going in all these 4 directions, right? So that's how the DFS works. These 4 directions that I have mentioned here, we will go in all these 4 directions, right? So that's what we are doing. As you can see, I minus 1j, I plus 1j, I j minus 1, I j plus 1. So these are the 4 directions of DFS, because they already mentioned, right, 4 directionally we can go basically. So what this DFS will do is, once we start, like, let me just backtrack this color so I can reuse this space again and show you. So what the DFS will do is, once we, for example, start with this cell, right, once we start with this one cell, it will go and it will try to cover the other cells which are connected to that one in 4 directions, right, like this. This is what the DFS does basically, right? And it makes them 0 also. Basically it makes them 0. Whenever it visits it, it will convert that 1 to 0. So that's what the DFS will doing, right? Here we are converting it to 0. So after that, this is our second traversal now, right? After the DFS is done, we will again go through each cell and we will try to find out if there is any one left over. If there is any one left over, we will just increment our count and we will return our count as number of enclaves. So this is the implementation. So let us take some examples. So this one is the first example, I believe, right? Yeah. So let's just take this example. So as you can see, 3, we are also getting 3. We are getting correct answer. So we can run with all the, like, second also. This is our second examples that they have given us here. So we'll just run our code. So we should get 0 for this second example. So as you can see, we are getting 0 in the second example, right? So now what we will do is, we will just convert this 0 to 1, right? I'll just convert this 0 to 1, and then these cells will be connected, right? Then so let's just convert this 0 to 1, and we can run the another unit test here. So let me just go ahead and this one is the first one, right? So yeah, so this one is the first one. We are converting this 1 0 to 1. So here we are converting it to 1, and let's just submit this. So as you can see, now it is 0, right? Because once we convert this to 1, right, we converted this to 1. So now all these ones will be converted, right, to 0, because they are connected to this boundary, right? All these will be 0 now, and this will also be 0, right, because this is on the boundary, right? You can walk off the grid. So there are all the ones you will be able to walk off the grid. These all will be converted to 0 because of this is now 1, right, on the boundary line, and it is connected to these ones, this one, right? So that's why we are returning 0 here. So all our unit tests are passing. So we can just go ahead and submit this solution. So our solution got accepted by LeetCode with 41% in the performance side and 19% on the memory side. So this is the way you can use DFS approach to convert, like, to count number of enclaves in the given matrix. So this is pretty straightforward. I explained you in details with these examples, I think. So if you haven't already checked the playlist on my channel about LeetCode and LeetCode solutions, please check it now. It has over 200 solved examples explained with Java code and details, and those examples are taken from previously asked interview questions by Amazon, Apple, Facebook, Google, Microsoft, and other companies. So those are important coding questions. If you are preparing for Java coding interviews or just Java interviews, that will definitely be helpful to you. Also, there is another playlist called as Java interviews that covers, like, frequently asked telephonic questions in Java. So visit that playlist as well. If you like this video and if you find this video helpful, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. Your subscription to the channel is really important to us because that is the way the video can reach to more people. They can also watch these problems, solve problems, and it can help them in their Java interview preparation. So please subscribe to the channel and share the video with your friends. Thank you.